Morning, Shazia. Are you on?
Morning. Yes, I am.
Okay. Let me quickly make you host, and then you can share your screen. Hold on a second for me.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. I've made you host. I don't know if you want to just check if your share screen is working, and then we can wait for everyone to come on.
Yeah, it's working. Thank you.
Can't see it on my side though.
Let's see.
Oh, there we go. It's starting to work now.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, perfect. So we'll just wait a little bit because there's still some people coming on.
No problem.
And then we'll chat in a few minutes. Thanks, Shazi.
Okay.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I can see that there's still quite a few people joining. So we'll wait another minute or so. But we've got Newmark Hotels that are going to share some of their properties. I know you've got quite a few on your portfolio, but you're going to just concentrate on some of the top sellers for us, Shazia. So welcome to the training session, and maybe you want to just chat a little bit about Newmark first and what you're going to chat to us about. I see there's 36 people on so long. So let's see, is it just 11? What is the time? It's only just 11, so maybe we'll wait just another minute or so, and then you can go ahead and chat.
No problem. Okay.
Thank you. I think we're good to go. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for taking the time out to join the training session on Newmark Hotels. So just firstly to give you a short run through about Newmark. So Newmark Hotels has been around for many years. We're a management company, so a lot of the properties we own, others we manage and others we have part ownership in. So we have 18 properties in total on the portfolio, and I'll only be going through our lodges today. So namely Mount Kamdabu Private Game Reserve in Crawford, Motswari Private Game Reserve in Timbavati, and then Nokumasi Game Reserve in Mpumalanga. So firstly, starting off with Mount Kamdabu. So with Mount Kamdabu, this reserve is malaria-free area. So it's on about 14,000 hectares of land. And on that, so across the Snowberg Mountains, so guests get opulent views. For example, when we have the activities within the reserve, so helicopter, scenic tours, where the helicopter goes on top of the mountain, do a picnic there for guests. It's made up of manor houses, cottages, and as you can see on the slide, safari tents. However, with those safari tents, we're actually making away with those 2 safari tents that we do have on the reserve. So we only have the manor houses and the cottages for now. What we're doing in place of those safari tents, we're bringing in those, those huge glass domes. So that's going to be our ultimate experience for guests. We don't have a timeline as to when exactly that will be set up. However, it is on the cards and it is in the process. We just don't have further detail as to when exactly it will be in full operation that guests can actually book that out. So on the property, they have their curio shop, their spa area, 2 game drives would be included in the guest stay. So on the rate, so it's all meals, all beverages, game drives as well. Cheater tracking can be done at the reserve at the guide's discretion, of course, after a game drive. Private vehicles are also available at request for guests, and there would be an additional cost on that. With Mount Kamdabu as well, in terms of swimming areas, so there are communal swimming pools. There's 3 on the property, 2 large Boma areas, so one that could cater for 15 guests in total, and the other could accommodate 30. So one night out of the guest stay, there is the dining experience in the Boma area where it's kind of a buffet braai setup, so very local kind of cuisine, beautiful your beverages. And the owner most of the time, or the reserve manager would sit out there and you just go through, spend some time with the guests, and then go through some detail what they would like to know about the reserve, what happens, how do you get to and from, etc. In terms of guests wanting to take a private charter into Graaff-Reinet, this too is available. So there are 2 landing strips in Graaff-Reinet. One would be in the central Graaff-Reinet, and the other would be it's a neighboring farm that's close by to Mount Kamdabu. That would also need to be booked and inquired for way in advance, so that approval can be given for that charter flight to come in. In terms of distance from Port Elizabeth Airport, you're looking at a 3-hour drive, so a self-drive. Also, the vehicle that comes in here would need to be, there would need to be a clearance on the vehicle. So a low-profile vehicle, for example, can't drive on that road. It could damage the guest vehicles. So I would always suggest a 4x4 or a clearance vehicle that can go in there. So that is Mount Kamdabu. Then just moving over to Motswari Private Game Reserve. So this is on the border of Timbavati and the Kruger National Park. So Motswari is a very popular reserve of ours, and due to that popularity, availability does become an issue at times. So just to add in there as well, all our properties are operational at the moment, and we have this amazing staycation office that we're pushing out. So that is available, bookable up until the end of April this year. So with Motswari, we have 3 entities here. Our first entity would be our main camp with 15 luxury bungalows. So with the main camp, it can also easily be taken out or booked out on exclusive use. If there's a group looking for 15 bungalows, that could work perfectly for them. 30 people, 15 bungalows, and they're happy to share. Could work perfectly. To come in to Motswari, you could take the Hoogstraat Airport. So from there, it's about an hour drive to Motswari. You'd need to enter at the Timbabati gate. In terms of the decor feel look, this is all Marianne Geiger, which is also the owner of the reserve. So we manage the reserve for her. All mosquito nets around the beds as well. Our second entity at Motswari would be Geiger's Camp. So with Geiger's Camp, this is 5-star. So only 4 bungalows here. They are butler serviced, and they almost suited as suites. So this is also nice if there's a family looking for, a big 5 destination in the Kruger. This could work perfectly for them. Maximum of 8 people for the 4 bungalows. Then our sleep out option at Motswari, we have Giraffe's Nest. So Giraffe's Nest, this would have to be combined with a stay either at main camp or at Geiger's Camp. There would be an additional surcharge here of around 3,900 Rand. So this is an amazing experience for your honeymooners or your first time kind of adventurous client. So this is quite stunning. So they set up with their dinner, they set up with breakfast, their shower facilities there, and the guests are left with a radio. So should anything change in terms of the weather, or a guest fears for any sort of sound within the reserve, they can call the ranger down and they'll collect them and take them back to their room, either at main camp or at Geiger's, whichever they had booked in. So it would be after the last game drive of the day that the guests get drops off here. That's if they opted for an additional night at Giraffe's Nest. Also, in terms of activities, bush walks can be arranged here. So safari walks, safari talks, safari interest talks also. And they're very strict with their game drives at Motswari. So 2 vehicles will be up and down on the reserve for the game drives. It's ±3 hours with your snacks, your sundowners, if it's pre-dawn or sunset game drive that the guest is on. So the guides or the rangers will radio one another. So it depends really where they are on the reserve, so that guests can feel that their game drive is kind of exclusive and they don't feel rushed. So there's a lot of attention to detail when it comes to game drives and the guests at Motswari. So they have a motto here: you arrive as a visitor and you leave as a friend. So the staff that's at the property, they're also very knowledgeable, and they've been around from the get-go. So they really look after your guests. Then moving over to Mpumalanga, we have Nokumasi Game Reserve. So with Nokumasi Game Reserve, this is about a 3-hour drive from Johannesburg, so OR Tambo International Airport. So we had a major refurb done here last year as well. So it's absolutely stunning. This is another reserve that's declared malaria-free. It's on 15,000 hectares of land, and we have 14 tents in total. So with the refurb, what we did was we changed up the look and feel of the tents, of each tent. Also, they're about 2 meters high on stilts. So each tent has their own private plunge pool on their decks, their bath, as well as their shower that is kind of cornered off. So it's a really nice experience. And being now in COVID, the refurb that we had done, it just works well. So there's no communal swimming for the guests that doesn't want that. They have their own private plunge pool on their decks. So in terms of these 14 tents, we have 6 deluxe, 6 luxury, and then 2 family tents. The differences between your deluxe and your luxury tents, it's just the views. The size, there's no size difference in them in terms of look and feel. They're a mirror image of one another. It's just the views. So your deluxe is going to give you riverside or reserve view, whereas your luxury, you're going to be on that Komati River. So opulent views, in other words. So these planes are quite open. So I like to refer to the reserve as a big 4 destination. With our refurb, the plan is to get it to a big 5 destination. The one animal out of the big 5 is the rhino that we don't have here. But in time to come, we are looking at ways, our conservation team are looking at ways of bringing that rhino in, bringing it back to a big 5 destination. So in terms of activities when staying with us at Nokumasi, so your stargazing, fly fishing, safari, bushwalks can be arranged here as well. They have a beautiful open boma area there, their curio shop, their main tent, their dining tent, and this would also be on a full board basis. In terms of your child policy, and that is for all 3 lodges that I've just mentioned, it would be 6 years and older. Look, if there is the odd request at Nokumasi, especially with regards to children younger than 6 years old, we're not going to really refuse it. It really just depends that the guest understands that when it comes to the game drives, their child unfortunately will not be able to join that game drive. And someone obviously then would need to stay with the child. So in terms of your children that can join game drives, it's 6 years and older. So it's really stunning now. Weddings can take place at the property. So yeah, so that's quite good. And then we move over to Tanzania. I don't think this was one that I was requested to mention. Angela, can you just let me know if I should go through Serengeti and Chiwini?
While you're on, you can, no problem.
Okay, perfect. So with Serengeti Surion, this is our tented mobile camp, and we move around 2 times of the year purely for guests to experience that phenomenon of the migration that takes place. So in terms of location, from mid-December till the end of March on a yearly basis, we're located in the southern Serengeti in Udutu. That is about 380 kilometers from Arusha, and the closest airstrip on that end would be Serenara airstrip. In terms of meal plans here or options, the rate option, there's full board, then there's the game package. So the only difference there is purely that game package is going to offer you the closest airstrip transfer to and from the camp. So that closest airstrip would be Serenara. So that is with that game package and the only difference there. So the end of March, when we close camp, then we relocate to the northern Serengeti in Lobo. The closest airstrip there again would be the Lobo airstrip. So if guest does fly in there, they would most likely drive through to Serenara and then get that transfer from there, especially those that's booking on that game package. In terms of our tents, we have 12 in total. Beautiful communal tent with comfortable sofas, board games, fully stocked minibar, a little library in there as well. Beautiful welcome lounge tent. We do communal dining here, and bush dinners can be arranged as well. Then in each tent, they have their dual wash basin, their bucket-fed rain shower, where guests can easily take a 7 to 10 minute shower, and then a proper eco-friendly flush toilet, and that's in each and every tent. And the amenities, your top amenities as well in the bathrooms, and they aren't all together, it is kind of sectioned off. So your toilet is separate from your shower as well as your wash basin. So there's privacy in each section. That is our Serengeti Lodge. Then moving over to Zanzibar, we have Chiwini Zanzibar Beach Lodge. So with Chiwini Zanzibar, we're located on that west coast of the island. When I say we're on the west coast of the island, would be the tidal end. So not on the beach end, it's the tidal end. However, just on the side of the property, it feels like you have your own private beach. However, it's a small little sandbank. So during low tide, there would hardly be any water there really. The picture, the top right picture, that is during high tide, almost high tide. So you will see the waters just on the side there, quite high, so guests can comfortably swim and just enjoy that little sandbank area. We have 12 bungalows and 1 villa in total. The property is built also around the old Chiwini ruins. So the ruins used to be a palace in the 1870s. So it's a broken down palace. And we also host what we call Swahili evenings. So with the Swahili evenings, there's specific dates of the year where these dining experiences takes place in the Chiwini ruins. And that can be checked with our reservations team at time of booking. In terms of activities at the property, so big game fishing can be arranged, snorkeling, scuba diving on that end, and it would be additional charges with our third-party suppliers. So the lodge can arrange, in terms of the big game fishing, the lodge can arrange for the guests to go out to the deep sea, and there are two options with the boats, and that would include equipment, your snacks, and everything else on the boat. So one would be a smaller boat without a toilet facility on it. And then you would get another boat option that has a toilet, a bigger size boat, and also the same things would apply in terms of your inclusions. So all your fishing equipment would be there, and your snacks, of course. So there's different charges there. It could range from 400 USD to 800 USD for this big game fishing experience. Each and every bungalow as well, they have their own private balconies, so guests can absorb that beautiful Indian Oceans. There's 2 restaurants on the property, and then we're not too far from other attractions in Zanzibar. If you look on that top right image as well, just before I end off, there's a bridge over there. So guests could easily, during low tide, of course, they could easily just cross over that bridge and then get over and explore the rest of the island on that west coast. During high tide, they wouldn't be able to see the bridge. But it's an exceptional experience here. In terms of meal plans, we have B&B, half board, full board, and then we do have fully inclusive or all-inclusive, whichever way you refer to it as. However, there would be an additional supplement per person per night over and above your full board rate. So that is Chiwini. I think I didn't mention this, apologies guys. So with the property also, we're about 12 kilometers north of Stone Town and 20 minutes from Zanzibar International Airport, so we're not too far either. And then our last beach resort is in Mauritius, La Maison. So this one is all about 45 minutes from Port Louise, in that resort town of Grand Bailly, and then close to the botanical gardens of Pamplemousse as well. Also only 15 rooms here, so very boutique-ish, 2 pools on the property as well as 2 restaurants. And that kind of concludes our presentation, unless you want more information in terms of hotels.
Okay, thank you, Shazia. That gives us an idea. I'm not too sure that we sell that resort in Zanzibar, but from the South Africa side, does anybody have any questions on any of the properties that Shazia has gone through? Any questions from your side? No, looks like everybody's quiet today.
That's good. That means they took in everything and you know enough.
Okay, good. So we've got some great specials, and I know that the emailer that went out today also had Mount Kambadu on, and hand on. So we've got those rates, and yeah. So if there's no questions, thank you everybody for joining, and thank you, Shazia. We'll chat soon.
Pleasure. And then Angela, could I just mention quickly to everyone, just a property that's opening next month. I'm not sure if everyone is familiar with it or if they've heard. So the Catalyst Hotel in Sandton, Johannesburg is opening on the 18th of April. So So it's around the corner, and that's going to be almost apartment style, 207 bedrooms. It's going to be quite nice. We're quite excited about that one, as it would be the only one within the region. And I'm not sure if you guys received an invitation for the opening day. It runs from the 13th to the 15th of April, where we, myself and the rest of my sales team, will be in Johannesburg at the property, and just doing that kind of site inspections, walkthroughs, and all other fun activities that's happening over those 3 days.
What was the name of the property again? Sorry, I didn't catch it.
The Catalyst Hotel.
The Catalyst Hotel. Okay, I'll double check on that one. But I mean, if any of the agents want to pop in, that'll be great.
Yeah, because what we're doing is we're kind of working out our RSVP list, so we know exactly what numbers we're looking at. Because there's a grand finale for the opening, so we're quite excited. So I'll send it through to you, and then maybe you can just liaise. I don't know what your guys' protocols are now with COVID, because I know a lot of companies are strict in terms of your staff going out and doing sites or visits and so forth. But we would appreciate the more the merrier.
Perfect. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. I just want to see if there were any questions. No, everyone's just saying thank you. Okay, thanks, Shazia. Have a good day, everyone.
You too. Bye, everyone. Bye.